Hi everyone. I'm going to go ahead and start chapter 4, and I'm going to just go ahead and jump into AutoCAD, the tutorial, and not really cover a lot of the concepts because this chapter is really just about drawing. All right, just really quickly, I'm going to start with problem number 1 and start drawing. Just remember the point entry command, or a point entry with the line command. You can either do polar, relative, or absolute coordinates. Just recall that in polar coordinates, you need the @ symbol and the less than symbol. For the relative coordinates, you need the @ symbol. And for the absolute coordinates, you need the hashtag or the pound sign, okay? That's when the dynamic input is on. When it's off, it's going to always go to absolute, okay? All right, so really quickly, I'm just going to show you some of the basics for chapter 4. I'm going to go ahead and start creating circles. All right, so what you notice is you can do the command bar and type in circle, or if you look up to the very top to the left, you'll notice that the circle command is up there. So what I'm going to do, the first problem, it's in the x direction is 1.75, right, comma, and 1.25 for the y, because that's half of 2.5. Now notice that the radius is called out. I can go ahead and click on D for diameter, and I'm going to do 2.5 as the diameter. All right. Next, I'm going to show you the rectangle. All right. Specify the first corner. 0, 0, because that's the origin. And then here, I'm going to do the 3.5 for the X and 2.5 for the Y. All right. So that's the first item that we built. And of course, that's when we know our absolute coordinates, and it's really helpful to do so. What you could do, and once you go about building problem number 1, you can go ahead and start moving things. And notice how I moved everything and press enter, and then I can go ahead and grab that. Make sure your O-snap is on, and you just move it on over. I like to do that because I like to continue using the origin when necessary. All right. So there's multiple ways of drawing. Just really quickly, you can specify a particular length, a center point, right, and an arc if you wanted to create arcs, right. There's a drop-down menu here. You can do center, start, center, end, start, center, angle, start, center, length, start, end angle, start, end direction, start, end radius. There's so many options for arcs, okay. You'll notice up here as well, you can do a rectangle, right. You can do just circles, right. Just make sure if you're going to be doing problem number 1, you can use your tangents if necessary. Just make sure that's under the snap settings. If you go down here to your snap settings, just make sure that your tangency is highlighted. Where are you, tangency? There it is. Okay, so say for example I want to create another circle that's tangent to that circle. Notice how those two are tangent, okay? So that's going to be really helpful for you. Just really quickly, if you're going to be doing dimensioning, just to double check, right? You want to say you want to dimension this arc as well, okay? Sometimes you'll have lines and you'll want to dimension an angular line, or an angle, I'm sorry. You click on those two there and create an angle. All right, so for chapter 4, what you'll do is go ahead and build all of the parts up to part number 10, okay? And the last thing I just want to show you is the P-line. So polyline, right? So creates a 2D polyline, right? A 2D polyline is a connected sequence of segments created as a single planar object. You can create straight line segments, arc segments, or a combination of the two. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the polyline, and I'm just going to freeform this right now. And you'll notice something unique about this, right? Press enter. Once I put my cursor over it, that it highlights the whole thing. So that's a polyline. It's a type of line where everything is connected, okay? And the text will ask you to create a polyline that is a particular length, thickness, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. I just clicked on line. I should have clicked on polyline, right? Polyline. So, right, so what you'll notice is specify next point or arc, half width, length, undo, or width, right? The textbook asks you to do a 0.03 width. So here what I'm going to do is type in W, and then specify the actual width. All right. So then you're going to specify the end. All right. So that's one way of creating a arrowhead, for example, starting with the 0 width and ending with a particular other type of width. Okay. So that is a polyline. All right. We'll stop here. If you guys have any further questions, please feel free to come in a little early so we can discuss in class and have a discussion. Until then, I'll see you guys all in class.